Hello everyone, welcome to my September quarterly autumn update. Now, it might sound a little bit early to say autumn, but we really are now getting back to work, thank goodness. The kids have gone back to school. I'm sick to death of hearing about everyone being on holiday and all the rest of it. I've got my 2-day masterclass coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of September. That will be here anytime soon. So if you want to book on there, please do. If you're not sure whether it's for you, happy to have a quick Zoom with you to make sure it is. Now, what's happened in the last 3 months? Have things improved? Well, interest rates have come down a little bit. The Labour government have got a lot worse. Surprisingly, we had a very good July in our estate agents. We were holding our breath to see if it continued to August, because obviously July is a funny month for estate agents because of, holidays and all the rest of it, as is August. August hasn't been too bad, not brilliant, but not bad. However, that was before all these stupid ideas that have come out from the Treasury, Rachel Thieves as she is known, regarding tax on property. So one of them is first-time buyers, no stamp duty under 500,000. Bit of a red herring because it only really affects London first-time buyers anyway. And as we know, there's a whole country out there apart from London. The other thing is roughly 0.5% on properties over 500,000 paid every year, similar to France, and 1% over $1 million. So those things, they're basically the government are flying a kite. The budget is obviously October, massive build up to that. The other crazy thing that's come out, of course, is capital gains on property. If you sell your own home, that won't happen. It's total political madness. Even Labour aren't that mad, surely to God. However, in the meantime, of course, it does affect. Uncertainty is never good for the property market, so it affects things. So let's just go through what's going to happen, we think, going forward in the next 3 months and the update and all the rest of it, as we normally do. So let's start off with the residential housing market. I've already touched on it already, I know. While there is uncertainty regarding taxes and everything else on property, I think the market will continue to bob along. I say nicely, it's not great, but it's slightly better than last year. There's more properties on the market still than at any time since 2012 and 14% more than this time last year. So a lot of choice for buyers, which means that if you are looking to sell, you're going to have to be competitive. You're going to have to be competitive and sensible to get out of what you've got and into your next one. So that's what I would say. We're just going to jog along, I think, certainly till October, till we know what's going to happen in the budget. And then if it's not good news, it'll be a tough, hard winter for estate agents, I can tell you now, and developers. That is for sure. So where are the national house builders? Are they happy? Are they confident? Well, their share price is always a good thing to look at, and the share price on most of these PLCs is down, and it's down because they're still not getting housing planning permission through quickly for housing, despite what Angela Rayner says. It's a load of nonsense. It's not happening. Bats and badgers and Christ knows who else out there. The wildlife is still dictating to the top 10 house builders. I'm laughing because it's just so stupid, isn't it? That bats and God knows who else, they are controlling the timescale of these developments. It's just insane. I've been caught up in it, and I know some of you out there have as well. It's just crazy. So you're still seeing part exchange signs available on a lot of housing sites. That tells you everything you want to know. And also, the average sale of a house on a new estate that is being built is 0.6% of a house per week. In other words, half a house a week is being sold on these sites, which is amazing, really. It's only just over 2 a month or whatever it is. So in the old days, you used to say on these big estates or any development really, you'd sell 1 a week. That was the thing. And these big house builders aren't doing that. They're selling on average 0.6% of a house per week. Amazing, quite amazing. So they're not very happy. And of course, you know, while they're not building as many houses as they should be, and they're building a few more than last year, but they're still not building anything like Angela Rayner's 300,000 houses a year or whatever. It's just not going to happen. It's absolutely crazy. She can buy her own house all right there, can't she? Her own flat down in Brighton, very nice. I've got some flats in Brighton and it is a very nice area. I don't blame her for that. Now, that's the only thing I don't blame her for, by the way. Now, where are we with auctions? Because the auction market traditionally closes in August, okay? There's no real, well, there's a few online ones now, but traditionally the big auction houses close in August. They start again mid-September. So we really want to know how they get off. If they get off to a good start, I don't think they will. But if they do get off to a good start, that's a real barometer for the rest of the housing market. I don't think they will. I think they will jog along. Anything over £1 million, I think, will be hard to get away if it's not if it's a development of any sort whatsoever. Anything that's income producing, normally when things look a bit tougher and people are uncertain, they go for income. So the maybe the yields, you know, and that's the rental return you get on the shops and so on, may hold up quite well. Interest rates come down a little bit as well, so maybe it's not a bad time to look to invest in some stability, which would be, you know, rental income. And then we go on to developers, small developers like myself, others building less than 250 houses a year, considered small developers, small SMEs as we're called, and investors. We're having a tough time of it. Interest rates, we're all paying roughly 12% a year, unlike the big PLCs who obviously use shareholders' money. It's very hard to make money at that level. That's what we're all having to do, especially when you have delays and build costs going up. So it's tough out there to make money out of property development at the moment. You can do so, of course you can, and there's people proving that point, but it is tough. We're not making as much as we were. It's tough. It's continuing to be tough. Build costs are continuing to go up and sell prices are not. So that is the issue there. You can find the odd deal, of course you can, but you have to work hard at it. In uncertain times, people tend to look to develop and keep. And if you can develop and refinance and keep what you're building, or the majority of what you're building, that may be quite a good way forward while things are a little bit uncertain and all the rest of it. Obviously, the government are putting a huge amount of money into social housing, 39 billion over the next 10 years. So if you can work with social housing companies in any shape or form, I've sold properties to Birmingham City Council, Fife Council, because they've got grants to buy completed houses. So if you can do that, that's not a bad shout. So I think for the developer, it's going to be tough. For the investor, quite interesting, because there are other angles now, and I talk all about these angles and what you can do in my 2-day masterclass. So going forward, where are we? Well, I think caution is the name of the game for the next 3 months, certainly until after the budget happens. I wish you all the very best. I hope you find lots of deals. If you can't do the deals, you can always get hold of me and see if I would like to joint venture with you in any way, or you could just sell it on to me at a small profit, a very small profit, hopefully. See you next time.